Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to address a comment or a question, I should say, that was posted in a Facebook group that I'm a member of, and it's basically focused all around paraprofessionals. And I think that this person posted a really good question that probably a lot of people who have looked into working as paraprofessionals may have. So I'm going to read it and this is the question. So this person says, I am a new para and about to start my job soon. I have questions about lunch breaks. When you're a one-on-one para, do you get a lunch break or bathroom breaks? And where would you take your lunch break? When you work in a self-contained room, do you take your lunch break in the same classroom you work in? Or are paras expected to take their lunch break elsewhere so that the teacher doesn't feel awkward? So first of all, I am a one-on-one para for the most part. I do work in ECSE, which is early childhood special education, from basically 8 o'clock or shortly after 8 o'clock until 11 o'clock when our ECSE students go home Monday through Thursday. So anytime after 11 and on Fridays, I am a one-to-one para for a special education kindergartner. And I will tell you that we have a very good system set up within my classroom at the school that I work at, and between myself, our teacher, which works with our age group, and the other para that I work with. So as far as lunch breaks go, I usually get a lunch break every day unless it's absolutely crazy, or if our main teacher is out of the building because she is actually suffering with cancer right now, or fighting cancer right now, I should say. When it's just me and the other para, sometimes things get crazy and we kind of lose track of time, and both of us end up forgetting to take our breaks or not having time to take our breaks because it's a lot easier with 3 of us than there is with 2 of us. So that kind of affects things, but for the most part, I get a lunch break every day. I get 30 minutes, and I do not take my lunch break in the same classroom. In the mornings with ECSE, we are a self-contained classroom. However, in the afternoons, I do push in with my one-to-one to my one-to-one students' kindergarten classroom. It is not considered self-contained at that point because it is a general kindergarten classroom. However, I still get breaks. As far as like bathroom breaks, other than my lunch break, I don't necessarily always have time for that. It's kind of, if you're able to, then you're able to. And usually like how we do things is the other para and I have our students at lunch at the same time. So if one of us needs to run to the bathroom during our students' lunch hour, we will do it at that time. After lunch, or when we're in like different transition times, one of us can run to the bathroom before we move our students into their classrooms, or before we go take our students outside for recess, things like that. There are certain times where we just cannot go to the bathroom at a specific time, whether that be because we need extra help, because there are certain situations where you cannot leave just one of us with all of the students. Like for example, out at recess, we need a minimum of 2 people, because with our ECSE students at recess, the reason we need a minimum of 2 people is because we have students that like to wander away from the playground. Even though our playground is completely fenced in, we do have students that like to run. They will run to the edge. They will try to escape however they can. So we definitely need 2 people to kind of watch, but also so that someone is free to go chase after these students that are trying to run away, if that makes sense. But normally, like our lunch breaks, you can either leave the school for your lunch break, which is 30 minutes long, or you can go to the teacher's lounge. Usually what I do is I go to the teacher's lounge because I don't see the point in leaving the school for a half an hour. What's the point in that? I'm fine with just going into the teacher's lounge, and usually the art teacher takes her lunch break at the same time as me. So we usually have a conversation and talk to each other about our days, and we kind of vent to each other. So it's kind of helpful for me. I think that it's important that you have that time where you can separate yourself from the situation, like especially when you're working with a one-on-one student. It can be very stressful, and I think it's important that you get some time to yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes or a 15-minute break, just so that you can kind of decompress and separate yourself from the situation a little bit so that you can kind of relax. Because sometimes I feel like I'm constantly on edge, like especially if my one-on-one is having a bad day or a rough day. I feel like I'm constantly on edge, like trying to anticipate certain behaviors. And I've picked up on a lot of my students' cues, but I feel like it's important that you get that break in there so that you're not, keeping yourself in the situation. Also, if you try to eat in front of certain students, they are going to want whatever food that you have. So it wouldn't really be fair for you to be eating in front of your students. I don't think it would be fair to the students because then they think it's time to eat. And I also think that you would have a hard time because students would be coming up to you asking for the food that you have, or asking for snack. Like we have our younger students, our ECSE students, if we were to eat something in front of them, they would run over to us asking to have that same food. So I definitely think that that's a factor as well. Obviously, I don't know what type of age group this person is working with, but I think that those are definitely important factors to take into consideration. Not eating in front of your students when it's not time for them to eat, making sure that you are taking a break and removing yourself completely from the situation. Like I said, thankfully, the lead teacher and the other para that I work with on a daily basis, thankfully we have a great team, and our co-teaching is definitely a strong situation. So we are able to kind of fill in for each other whenever needed. And, if somebody needs a break from something, one of us will definitely pick up in their place. We can swap things around, move things around, and kind of adjust our daily schedule to fit whatever our needs are at the moment. So anyways, I hope you guys found this information helpful. And if you guys have any questions or would like me to talk about something specific related to working in special education or working as a paraprofessional, if you would like me to talk about anything with my pre-med journey, please let me know that as well, and I'd be glad to get something filmed for you. And with that being said, that's all I have for today, so I will talk to you guys next time.